going on, YouTube? What's going on? My name is Keisha. Welcome to my channel. So if this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you so much for stopping by and chilling with me and showing my channel some love. All right, so we're going to get into this documentary. It's huge, and I believe it was trending #1 on Netflix. It's called The American Murder, The Family Next Door. Now this is based on a couple that were married, Shannann Watts and Christopher Watts. They both had 2 children, and Shannann was pregnant with their 3rd child. She was 15 weeks pregnant. So I already knew, I already had a feeling when I started watching the documentary based off the title alone, American Murder. I just knew he murdered them, he killed them. But I knew, I believe he killed the wife. I knew off the rip he killed the wife. I didn't know that he also killed the children. Because I'm like, okay, he killed the wife, and that's dead ass. He's wrong for that, and that's evil as hell. But I said, where's the 2 daughters? Come to find out, he murdered his own daughters. So Christopher Watts and Shannann Watts, you know, they met, they fell in love. She had issues, medical issues. I believe she had lupus, and she was very sick, very ill, and she, you know, she had her things going on in life, and she kind of gave up in a way. But then she met Chris, and Chris made her feel good. She admitted to giving him a hard time from the very beginning, but then as time went on, she kind of opened herself up to him. She opened up her mind, body, and spirit to Christopher, and he accepted her for who she was. She fell in love with him, he fell in love with her, and they brought forth two cute little girls, Bella and Celeste. At the time when Bella was murdered, she was 4 years old, and Celeste was 3 years old. And you see in the documentary, Shannann, she was definitely a poster. She definitely was a social media star. She definitely liked posting pictures and videos and recordings of her family, and you know, and herself, just having a great time. She seemed to really love being a mother and love being a wife. And things took a turn when all of a sudden Chris started acting different. You can see in the documentary there was text messages that were inserted on, you know, that was inserted for us to see and read what transpired in the conversation via text through Chris and Shannann and his wife. And you can see her getting frustrated at times because she would say that he wouldn't even touch her, he wouldn't kiss her, he wouldn't grab on her booty, he wouldn't show her no type of affection, no type of love or anything. So she, as any woman, she felt he was having an affair. And any woman would think something like that. If your man come home to you and he ain't kissing on you, he ain't rubbing on that booty, he ain't trying to give you some, what the hell you gonna think? Are you getting some from somebody else? Is somebody else giving it to you? You ain't getting it from me, because that's not normal. You're supposed to be all over me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what happened? And she was pregnant. And I don't know what I heard. Pregnant women, they're extra horny. I don't know if there's any truth to that. So if you ever was pregnant, if you a person, a female, a woman watching, let me know there's some truth to that. I don't know. But she just felt something wasn't right, and she really wanted to make her marriage work. Shannann admit to being bossy, a bit controlling, but she never would have thought that her ways or her temperament would have led to her demise. It would have led to her children being murdered. So she went on a trip, came home late at night. Her friend Nicole dropped her off, and that was the last time her friend Nicole admitted to seeing Shannann. And that night when she dropped her off was the night she was going to die, and her daughters were going to die. And she felt something wasn't right, because why would she just pick up and leave and not take her daughters? Why would she up and leave and not tell nobody? Shannann had a relationship with her friends. She had a relationship with her parents. She also admitted in her social media postings that Chris' family didn't like her. The mother didn't like her, and the sister didn't like her. She didn't say too much about the father, but the mother didn't like her. And you know what mamas don't like you, honey. And he looked like he probably was a mama's boy, so who knows. But she admitted to that, and they had a falling out. So Shannann believed that a lot of that distancing that he was giving her and that closing and shutting off was due to his parents, due to his mother and his sister probably getting in his ear. But the whole time the fool was having an affair. And could I say this? Could I admit to y'all and just tell you, if you see the side chick, no disrespect, but Shannann looks better. And not that it's important, but even a dude, even Chris looked better than the side chick. That's just something I wanted to put out there. But it's just like, my thing is, listen, man, if you don't want your wife, if you don't want your husband, if you don't want the person that you're with, leave. That's an option. Leave or divorce. It's not that hard. What, you want to get insurance money too? So you want to go live off of this new woman and then just take your money, whatever you had on their life, take that money and go? This fool want to come and tell us in a documentary as it was being filmed. He's going to tell the police that, oh, she just took off, and she just disappeared. No one was buying that. So when Nicole, and I believe maybe that was her friend or a boyfriend of her, of Nicole, which is Shannann's friend, he said something is not right with Chris. He's too fidgety. Something is not right with him. There's no way in the world that, he's telling the truth. He's too fidgety. So my thing is this. When he said that, I'm like, you ain't gotta tell me nothing. He looked like a nervous wreck. He looked like a nervous wreck. So as time went on, he ended up taking a polygraph test. And guess what? He failed. He failed the test. Is it a surprise? I wasn't surprised. I knew the sucker was lying. I knew he murdered them. And it was so crazy that he doesn't even look like. That's what I'm saying. Like, certain people you can't judge a book by its cover. And that's the true saying, because if you look at Chris, he did not look like a crazy, deranged psychopath. He didn't have that. Some people got that. They look crazy. He just looked like a normal, everyday man. How you become a husband and a father, and then all of a sudden you turn into this demonic monster to kill your wife who's pregnant and then also kill your 2 daughters? That's your seed. How could you face your 4-year-old and 3-year-old and smother them? He strangled his wife Shannann, and then he smothered his 2 daughters with a blanket. Like, how the hell you do that? How you have the gulls of spirit to do something like that? That is some sick stuff, man. That was a monster waiting to be released. And I'm telling you, there's people who look a certain way, who carry themselves a certain way, but you never know who the hell you're speaking to and who the hell you're building relationships with and who the hell you're entertaining. I was like, whoa, this guy did that? That is insane. So after he failed the polygraph test, the fool still tried to say, oh, I wasn't lying, I didn't kill my wife. But then he had to confess. But this is what he did at the beginning. He said, well, I caught Shannann hurting my daughters. And I'm looking at, if you look at if you've seen the documentary, you've seen how happy and proud Shannann was to be a mother. She seemed ecstatic. She was ecstatic. She was stoked to be a mother and to be bringing forth a 3rd child, and they were having a boy. And she was super excited. So I didn't really see a woman that would look to her 2 daughters and kill them and murder them. I'm like, no. I said, no, you freaking a-hole. You murdered the daughters. Don't try to put it on her, but don't put it on her. She's no longer here to defend herself. Don't even lie on a dead like that. Don't even do that. And then he ended up confessing he ended up confessing later on that, yeah, I killed them. So he smothered Shannann in bed, and then the daughters came in. I believe it was the oldest daughter, Bella. She came in, who's 4 years old. It was like, what happened with mommy? What happened to mommy? Oh, mommy is sick, mommy's sick. Meanwhile, he wrapping her dead body in a sheet, dragging her downstairs. Then he took his two daughters in the car. They was napping on each other. They had no clue what their father was going to do. Who would have thought that their daughters would, you know, they would think that their own father would kill them? Who would have thought that? Why would they even think something like that? A father's supposed to love and protect his children, not murder his children. If you can't trust your father, your mother, who the hell can you trust? Who the hell can you trust? This is sick. This was demonic. This was diabolical. This was sick. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So he took them to his job site. It was on an oil field. And he put the two daughters, after he buried Shannann's body near the oil company that he worked for site. He then went to his daughter. He killed Celeste first, smothered her with her own blanket. Then he put her body in the oil tank. Then he came back in the car and smothered his oldest daughter, Bella, who's 4 years old. And her last words, you know what her last words were? Daddy, no. And you thought that would have stopped him? No. No. That was a pure demon. That was a pure demon. For you to sit there and smother your own children to death. And just take the life, just snatch the life out of them. All because you wanted to be with another woman. It's simple. Get a divorce. If your wife threatened to leave you and take the children, it is what the hell it is. This is some sick stuff, man. So he had to come clean and had to confess he had no other freaking choice. Now the sucker is rotting in jail. He's doing life in jail with no parole. Good for him. The Shannann father was very heartbroken. Her mother's very heartbroken. You know, of course, his parents, Chris' parents, supported him and they said they love him and forgive him. But it's just unfortunate that it's sad that the two families are broken apart. Two families are broken apart. And to update this story, guess what Chris is getting? This fool is getting love from other women. He's getting admiration and growing a fan base from what he did to his wife and his two daughters. That didn't stop these women from sending him romantic love letters, admiration letters, wanting to connect with him. You know what this remind me of? When I watched the movie Ted Bundy, and that was a sick bastard. He was sleeping with Ted Bundy was a sick freak. That was a pure demon too. But after all these murders, committing nepophilia, rape, dismembering, everything this guy was doing, keeping the body parts as souvenirs, women, what blows my mind, women were still showing him love. They wanted to be with him. They were attracted to him. I said, what planet am I living on? It's the same thing with Chris. These women knew, and it's clear as day, he murdered his wife and his two daughters. And you think that people would pause and be like, hold up. No, they're sending him letters and they're showing him support, talking about, I feel compassion for him. What? You should be more compassionate for the 3 lives that ain't here no more. You should be more compassionate for at least for the 2 children and the unborn child, but you feel compassion for this fool? Oh, because he's attractive. That's what it comes down to. These nasty, horny, disgusting women, disgusting, sick freaks that are going to sit here and admit to feeling compassion for this guy. And in the documentary, you can see that there's a Facebook group. And you could see the women in the Facebook group going in on Shannann, saying, oh, she drove him to kill her. She drove him insane. She was the B word. She was this. She was that. Mind you, she's not here to defend herself. She's deceased. And yet these women are going all out and attacking a dead woman. And praising him as if he's innocent. It's crazy. He murdered a pregnant woman and his 2 children. How can you guys justify that and feel compassion for him? There's no compassion. If he's sincerely sorry, then he's sincerely sorry. But I'm not going to try to connect with him and build a relationship with him behind bars. I don't care if it's in person or behind bars. I'm going to just leave you where you at. Then now it's reported that he's also reading Bible scriptures. He's learning the Bible, and he's sending scriptures to his parents. Good for him. He gonna need all the scriptures he could possibly get. But that's not gonna bring back your wife and your 2 daughters. If you guys see this, if you guys have seen the documentary, let me know. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Is definitely, you know, ranking. It was definitely ranking #1 on Netflix. He definitely got a lot of fame and a lot of attention due to this documentary. It was streamed on September 30th, and that's how he got a lot of traction. People got to know who he was. I didn't hear about the story because he murdered them back in August 13, 2018. I never heard this story. I'm hearing about it now through this documentary. So tell me what you guys think. Do you feel compassion for this fool? Do you agree with women trying to connect him and be romantic with him and want, you know, and feel compassion for him? Like, tell me what you guys think. If you see the documentary, tell me what you think about the documentary. Okay, so like, comment, and subscribe, and you catch me next video. All right, peace.